Okay, we're back with another 20-minute Veto. I'm Sean, and I'm here with Heather.
Hello.
And we're just the two of us today talking about one of our favorite movies, True Romance. So,
Yay.
Heather, take it away.
So this is, we consider this sort of our movie, and this month is our anniversary. So consider this the anniversary episode, even though 20 Minute Veto's anniversary is technically in October.
This is not a 20-minute Veto anniversary
No,
episode.
this is a Heather and Sean anniversary kind of a thing. True Romance, released in 1993, is written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott, and the version that we watched tonight on physical media, because we're nerds and we love this movie, is the unrated director's cut. And spoilers, as always with 20 Minute Veto, we're going to get into spoiling plot points. I mean, it's a 33-year-old movie, so take that for what it's worth. But
Many people have seen this.
Many people have seen this movie, but we're about to spoil it. Absolutely, hundo p right now. So True Romance.
If you're a Tarantino fan,
you definitely know this. Yeah, there's no way you don't know this.
Christian Slater fan, and if you're a Gen Xer,
if you're a Gary Oldman fan, you know this movie.
If you're a millennial.
Of a certain time, you absolutely know this movie. But True Romance is Clarence and Alabama Worley's love story, who meet at a Sunny Chiba Kung Fu movie marathon. And they end up having a great time, hit it off, go get some pie to talk about the movie, head back to the comic book store that Clarence works at, where he shows her, is it Superman #1 that he shows her? The comic book?
I thought it was like Spider-Man.
Is it Spider-Man? It's one of the... it was Spider-Man? Yeah, Spider-Man. And things get a little romantical. And it turns out, though, that Alabama is a call girl. This is her 4th day on the job, I believe she says, and Clarence is her 2nd customer. But she was hired by his boss, the fellow that owns the comic book store, to sort of show him a good time on his birthday. So she confesses this to Clarence because she says that she's got real feelings for him after this. I don't know how many hours they spent together. The night, I guess. I don't know how many hours it's supposed to be, but it's not that long. And they end up getting married, and they get matching tattoos. But Clarence can't get past the fact that Alabama had a pimp named Drexel. He just is not going to move past this. So he decides to go and confront him at his pimp house. Pimp house? Is that the... I don't know what the... brothel? Pimp house?
Trap house.
Trap house? Whatever. So he decides to go there to confront him. He wants to get Alabama's things and essentially tell Drexel that she's out of the business. And things go sideways. Things go real hairy. They get bloody Tarantino style pretty fast. Clarence ends up killing Drexel, and he makes off with what he believes is a suitcase full of Alabama's belongings. Turns out to be a whole, $1 million worth of uncut cocaine? Something insane like that.
Yeah, I did the conversion. It'd be about $1 million in
today's market. And so they decide that this is going to be what will essentially fund their future. And Clarence has a friend in Hollywood who's an actor, Dick Ritchie, played by Michael Rappaport, and he wants to go there and try and use his connections to sell off this coke quickly so that they can make off with the proceeds and start their lives together kind of carefree.
In Cancun.
And along the way, they meet a cast of characters. There's a lot of people in this movie. Things go Tarantino style. It's pretty violent, but it's a lot of fun. And I don't want to get into the specifics yet because I think we're going to talk about it in our reviews. But True Romance.
A movie we bonded over early
Absolutely.
in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And take inspiration from, the not so much the violence, clearly, but...
or the prostitution of the drugs.
Or the drugs, but, the us against the world kind of mentality, I think, appeals to us. And we both are Quentin Tarantino fans, and, we like the story behind this. So this was a larger opus screenplay of
Tarantino's.
roughly 500 pages of Tarantino and this fellow Roger Avery. It got whittled down into two separate screenplays, True Romance and Natural Born Killers. Tarantino loves True Romance. Didn't have anything to do with it once it was in motion.
Never even set foot on the set, as we have learned.
No, and apparently Tony Scott was very respectful to the script.
Except for the ending.
Some stuff was changed. Yeah, the ending was changed. I like the nice ending. At the same time, I'm not averse to more realistic endings, but
Yeah, but boo.
on the
I don't turn to movies for real life.
True, but on the director's cut, they have the first ending, I guess, Tarantino's ending, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or wherever.
Yeah, I think it's out there.
And she is very angry with him for even going after Drexel in the first place, because she does say, like, let's just run away.
Yeah, spoilers. In the Tarantino's originally script, Clarence dies in the shootout over the coke deal. He does not survive, and she has to leave without him.
Yes. Sorry,
And,
that was probably the big thing I skipped there. But
yeah, no, it's okay. You were getting to it. And Tony Scott decided after. Did they get as far as test screenings?
Yeah, I believe
with that
so.
ending, and it wasn't popular because nobody wants to root for a couple like this, and then have them not get their happy ending. So I'm glad they changed it personally. That's aside.
They kind of do that ending in Planet Terror, if you think about it, with maybe that's Robert Rodriguez, a friend of Tarantino. Maybe that's his homage to Tarantino's True Romance ending. It's his zombie True Romance kind of thing, and and he goes with the OG ending of the hero being killed. Mm-hmm. She's with child leading their crew down to Mexico. The other script, Natural Born Killers.
Another fantastic movie. If you like the ultra violence.
Very different because it's Oliver Stone, and Oliver Stone did apparently kind of manhandle Tarantino's version of that. So Tarantino hates that film.
Oh, dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he hates it. He says, if you like my stuff, don't watch that.
Oh, shame. I like that movie.
It's a tough one. I understood that it was a Tarantino project. Tried to watch it and couldn't get past the scene with Rodney Dangerfield. And
yeah, it's pretty rough.
It took me like
off after that though.
A second viewing to hunker down through that scene, and then which apparently that scene is a big contentious bone for Tarantino. That was not in his script.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because that's it's kind of awful.
It's mean for, like, here's kind of the difference between Alabama and Clarence and Mickey and Mallory's. You don't have to have an abusive family for Mallory to be a psycho. She's a psycho. And Mickey is a psycho.
Yeah, that's how they bond is their psychopathy.
So she could be coming from the nicest family, most supportive family.
Ooh, that could have been so dark. Her coming from a white picket fence, kind of like church family or something.
Yeah, and Mickey rolls in and takes her, she's happy to,
and they just murder her family.
Below her family.
Just cuz?
Yeah.
That would have been way darker.
As opposed to Rodney Dangerfield, which
making Mickey a hero, essentially.
Yeah.
In this version. Like, it's completely justified what happens to Rodney Jailer. I mean, it depends on how you feel about pedophiles, but under the jailhouse, feet first, and the wood chipper.
Oh, it's totally warranted, but at the same time, like, that's the payoff. I didn't make it to that part, so that the whole like 50s TV show, like whatever he was doing there, the setup for it with the laugh track and everything, like,
it's very odd, and it's very early in the film, so it's very jarring. Like, what has happened? What are we getting into?
Yeah, like, if this is the movie, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, if it's all going to be weird little sets like this, I did not expect that, and I needed a different day to watch it. And I do enjoy that film. I like Natural Born Killers. But two of these movies came from the same script, and then It was the script that, or the selling of the script that helped Tarantino fund one of my favorite movies of all time, Reservoir Dogs, and then off to the races with another all-time classic in Pulp Fiction, and so on and so forth.
And it's Reservoir Dogs that has the reference to what happened to Alabama Worley
That's
after
right.
Clarence's
Same
death.
universe building
Same universe that she
Yeah.
ends up with Harvey Keitel's character.
For
and
a brief
she's
period.
a brief period because she's mentioned in passing that they're no longer together, but they were for a time, and that she's a thief, I believe. Is very brief. It's very, very brief. But Tarantino put that in there as sort of his...
He jokes that...
Yeah, I don't
pretty
care
sure.
what the end of the movie was. Clarence is dead in my universe, and this is what happened to Alabama, which makes me sad. But at the same time, he's the one that wrote it, so he can do whatever he wants. But it's an interesting piece of trivia that Alabama does get mentioned in other Tarantino movies, which is complete contradictory to the ending of this film.
I believe there's like a Vincent Vega reference as well, or Michael Madsen's character, Mr. Blonde, his real name is like Vic Vega, or they have somebody like that.
I'll have to check. I'll have to look into that.
Like,
I think you're right. I think there is another mention
like
of another.
he's John Travolta's character's brother.
Yes,
something.
I think you're right. I think there is somebody else mentioned. I'll have to look into that. I do love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
Stephen King also does a lot of that, and I love connecting what short stories and novels are connected to what universe. It's great. So I love when Tarantino does it too. Even when I don't agree with the ending, it's still really cool to pick up those references.
And then to kind of finish off, Juliette Lewis, who was Mallory,
In Natural Born Killers.
That's right, wanted to be Alabama in this film. There was actually a few ladies that famous actresses, other than Patricia Arquette, who wanted the role. One of them being Juliette Lewis, another being Drew Barrymore, and another being Brooke Shields. Apparently, was like dying for this role. I don't.
Wildly different movies with any of those other actresses.
Yeah.
But Patricia Arquette is the.
She's perfect.
She's
got
perfect.
The grit.
Yeah, she's perfect.
And one thing I was going to mention there as well was that with True Romance, like, I want to root for Clarence and Alabama from the get go. Where Mickey and Mallory, it's like.
Yeah, they kill some people that are.
And they're
why?
murderers too. Like, Clarence is a murderer. Like,
But he kills Drexel.
Drexel's a piece of shit. But
And then Alabama kills James Gandolfini's mobster character. But these are not family men, pillars of the community. Some of the people that Mickey and Mallory killed just in that diner scene alone. Yeah, just in that diner scene alone. They killed some people with some families. They killed some people who meant something to their communities. I mean, these aren't real people, but we're just saying, in the terms of the story, the optics of it, who Clarence and Alabama choose to kill is very, very different than who Mickey and Mallory choose to kill. There is a savage coldness to what Mickey and Mallory do, whereas Clarence and Alabama just want to get to Cancun
Survival.
and live their life. They don't really want to hurt anybody. That's not on their agenda. It appalls me that Mickey and Mallory are parents of multiple children, and Clarence and Alabama only have one. That's disturbing.
Right.
That's disturbing, personally. Wait, how many do Laura Dern and Nicolas Cage have in Wild at Heart? Because that's another movie that's very close to this. From, what did we say, 1991?
That was 90.
90?
Yeah.
David Lynch, yeah, another good one. I think they have one. They have one kid together. They're they're kind of in between, I would say, Mickey and Mallory and Clarence and Bama, because there's some violence, but it's not. They're also in survival mode to be together.
Yes.
That maybe warrants another episode. I don't want to get into that one sidetracked. So,
and Nick Cage would have been an excellent Clarence.
Sure, but I'm glad that I forget what his name is in Wild at Heart, but it's great. He sings the Elvis covers.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you've got time and you don't mind a little bit of ultra violence.
To Tarantino was Pulp Fiction, and then I went back to this.
Although, absolutely, yeah.
I caught this oddly enough on TV, heavily edited because the fight scene with, or like the, yeah, I guess fight scene with Gandolfini and Patricia Arquette had to be edited down, and all the language, and then the gun battle at the end, I'm sure, was edited down.
Oh yeah.
That brutal sequence with Patricia Arquette and Gandolfini is one of the toughest things to sit through.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny. I'm only laughing because I see how uncomfortable he gets every time we watch this. But yeah, it's rough.
The payoff is so good though. So like, you know, I can sit through like the first half of that knowing that Patricia Arquette gets the upper hand.
If you can handle anything in Kill Bill, you can handle this particular scene. So don't worry. It's not that bad.
But it shows that they're like equally kind of nuts
and resourceful.
He was Clarence was losing to Drexel there.
Yes, in the earlier scene, yeah.
And then managed to get the upper hand and
by being very violent, as she does.
Yep, same with her. This movie also has one of Tarantino's classic scenes with Christopher Walken and Dennis
Hopper.
The chemistry between the two of them is incredible.
Anyway, True Romance, definitely not a 20-minute Veto, in case you guys hadn't guessed. 100% worth a watch. If it's possible that you're a Tarantino fan, maybe you're just getting into Tarantino. I shouldn't judge.
Maybe you just like Perfect Strangers.
Maybe you just like Perfect Strangers and you want to see some more Bronson Pinchot. Or maybe you're a Christian Slater fan. There are so many actors in this movie. We got Christian Slater, we got Patricia Arquette, Gary Oldman, Dennis Hopper, Christopher Walken, Bronson Pinchot, James Gandolfini, Michael Rappaport, Brad Pitt, Tom Sizemore, Chris Penn, Samuel L. Jackson, Val Kilmer. Like, it just doesn't stop with this movie. So if you're a fan of any of these films, or you're just getting into any of these people, maybe this is your first out of the first movie you found them in. Maybe this is an intro to something. I hope so.
It's very cool. So here we have True Romance.
Definitely worth a watch. Thumbs up from both of us.
Absolutely. And we'll catch you later.